Okay, let's start. So, hello everyone. I'm Min from Pondered, and this program is supported by Vancouver Daily newspaper and the Korean version, the Vancouver Daily Korean newspaper. I think that's the full name, right? So, and which is the logo is on the left side of the uh, left side of the corner, right? So. Uh, Today we will now starting from today we will gonna go into the real training material, and as I said, to give you some idea about this the future plan, we will have let me use my cell phone to find it out, to look at my calendar. So basically, in the June, we will go on until June 25th to for this streaming, and then I'm going to take a break after that from July and September, and coming back on not July and August, and coming back on September. So it'll be notified on the blog or website. So if you go to my website, for now, the in the future that I'm going to organize my website a little bit more simpler way. So basically for now, I uploaded all let me reduce my camera size a little bit smaller so that you can see a little bit better. So basically, what I did is I have been uploading all these YouTube videos and writings and those all together in here. Well, mostly YouTube videos, but there's some of the writings as well, and then you can find from here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize this one. So in the future, what you will see is you will see YouTube will be just a simply links, and Facebook you will have Facebook link, and Blogger will have a blogs some of the stories in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the blog for the some of the casual kind of talking about the stories about education, and the Facebook will be the one that are sharing with the news or something, and the YouTube will continue with these videos uploaded to there. So in this website, that mostly what you will see is not the YouTube videos like this, so I'm gonna remove them all, and then lecture videos will be gone because they are all in the YouTube as well. And then stories of lives will be gone, which will be, it's the same thing as in the blog. So the blog that I'm going to share with those ones, and the publication will be there, but study methods and strategy, that these writings will be there, and because these are related to the actual study method, and teaching tips also will be there, and the last of them will be there, but except these will be, all the YouTubers will be gone, and some stories of their lives that move to the blogs, so that this website will look more likely business oriented. So you are not going to be able to find all these ones in here, but still publications will stay there. So I'm going to redesign the website, so everything will be there. So these books you can download it, and you can other writings in here you can read about it. So you can do this. Okay. Now what I'm going to talk about from today is I'm going to give you so this will be what happening until June, end of the June. That okay, that calendar is May. Now you have to use this one. That's why I was using the cell phone calendar. So from June, I'm looking at the August one. So it's from June, so we have, including today, streaming, we have 3 more weeks to go. And then with these 3 more weeks, I'm going to provide basic the study methods. And once this basic study method is done, taking a 2 month break during the summer, I'm going fishing. And then, well, mostly, yeah, I'm not sure that how many times I can go. And then starting from September. Actually, September is the salmon fishing season. So, but anyway, starting from the September, then I'll come back with the specific topic that I'm going to provide the strategies how you can design your study based on, and then build your study from there. Okay, so if you haven't done it, then please go to here, ponders.ca, and go to publication and books, and download this one. And the first one, as I said, is background, so you can download and then read about it. This will show you how brain evolved together with the study methods. So study method is, you can think of it in this way. If a human brain is fully evolved, then there's no reason to study, right? If it is fully evolved and then everything is functional, then you don't have any issues in this in during your study. The reason that the people have issues in studies because brain evolution is not done. It is a process of the brain evolution, and then education also evolved together with the brain. So that's the reason why that people are trying to study and trying to develop brain and function more and more. That's one of the reasons, right? And one during the summer, this will probably happen during the summer. What I'm currently doing is that I'm writing a chapter for a journal, and the journal, one of the journal, actually the journal that I published the paper, uh, it's right here. Where is it? Yeah, right here. This journal, the paper that I published, and then after they published my paper, and they thought that I might be able to contribute to one of the chapters, and they asked me that if I can contribute a chapter of their books, the book that they're gonna publish. So I said, oh yes. So that's almost in the final. So I'm in the editing stage. So with that book, then you will find these books are for the learners, right? So where is it? Oh yeah, books right here. So these books are for the learners. So this is designed to provide how the learners to use it when they are studying with their own topic, so that they can align together and then they follow the step-by-step guidance and make these ones applicable for your own topic of your study. So these are the ones designed for that. The one that the chapter I'm writing is the about how to teach. So basically, teaching methodology. That is not regular methodology. It is more like creative thinking. So creative thinking is the one that well, I went through last week briefly about summarize everything, right? The questions are important and that there are differences in the questions. So those are the ones that where this is coming from. So the teaching method of the creative thinking will be the one that being published soon enough during the summer, I think. Okay, and in that story, I also talk about how these the creative thinking based the study method or teaching method will be able to apply applicable the application to the real life. That's what I the talk about in the book in that chapter of the book as well. So I will share when that is done through the my website. So if you after this streaming is done, if you come back in July or end of July or early August, then you probably find that in somewhere in here. So that's for the most likely for the teachers, but you as a learners you can still use it. But actually this one is for the instructors as well. This journal publication is for the instructors as well. But you can use these methods in your study, the same thing. The one that I'm writing for the chapter that I'm writing for the journal, you can use for your study as well. Okay, so if you download it, then I went through with this one and I'm thinking about providing some systematic, 10 examples to show you how to do this and then, well, that's what will look like, right? So how you can check how you can check before you start the these processes. This is you can take a look at yourself to see that what type of brain that you have been really developing, and then we're using this one that how logical your thinking is about. So I might be able to provide like a 10 examples so that you can check yourself which level you are. If you get like at least like a three or so or higher in this study that is getting right and here, then your brain is really developing towards to the more logical thinking. Okay. Okay, so method. The first step whenever you deal with it is the choosing a topic, right? So generally what happens is when people choose a topic, they try to choose something complicated. But what in this building concepts and connecting concepts, the way that you need to work is the other way around, okay? Theories, for example, Darwin's evolution theory, or let me start using evolution theory, or like the Albert Einstein's general relativity theory. These look like very simple and well, it's not simple, right? This is look like a one idea that you kind of like have to take up as a one idea. So you can talk about general relativity and then you can talk about the evolution and then you use the word and then you use the relativity words as well. The problem is even if you know the evolution, then what is the concept of the evolution? If someone asks like what is the we well as we talked about, did I discuss about apple, right? If you know about apple, but what would it be good if you just know apple as an apple? You can eat and then you can enjoy and you can talk to other people that saying that okay, this apple is good. That apple is no, that's not sweet enough, or this apple is a little bit more sour, or something like that. You can talk about these apples in the terms of the taste, but if you don't have concepts, then what happens? You cannot really describe what does the skin look like, what does the color look like, what does the texture look like inside of it, how crispy it is, how juicy it is. Without this information, yeah, we went through, right? I'm sure that we went through that. Without this information, if you get involved in the discussion, then what happens is you will just randomly say that, okay, we can make it uh, bake. We can bake it. We can boil it. We can grill it. We can dry it. We can slice them and then dry it. Yes, you can say it. But when someone asks the questions that why do we have to slice and dry it? How could the taste be different? How could that change the texture, right? If you cannot answer those questions, that means that you simply know as a knowledge, not a concept. Okay, so you have to build the concept. Building concept meaning that evolution, there are a lot of different theories, right? Here, adaptation, and then there's the well environmental factors related, and then saying that fittest is the one that driving the evolution or something like that. There are many different theories about the evolution. When Darwin came up with this idea, he studied different species, the different species but the same kingdom, and then categorize them and compare them and study that the relationship with each other. So evolution is not just a simple random theory that he generated. He didn't come up okay, okay, human look like a monkey, so human must evolve from the monkey. This is not what he said. He systematically approached it. And he actually getting into the point where using these birds, like a bird's beaks, the bills of the birds are all different, right? And depending the size and length and thickness, then food type changes. He started looking into it, and then he started correlated each other, and then he make the stories out of it. So what people remember about Darwin's evolution theory, they people just remember human. Are we from monkeys? Is that what he talked about? That's what people got. But his evolution is very long story. A lot of evidences and he supported logics with. So these are the theories. So evolution look like it's just a simple one word, if you take this evolution as a word and then this means that the knowledge, then yes, you can use the word, right? You know what is the evolution. Evolution of the technology, evolution of the computer, evolution of the AI. Especially in these days, like AI evolves faster and you hear these stories. Now, what you need to do when you are dealing with when you are trying to select a topic to study, you have to select something very simple. Evolution, if you choose it, then you will see that there are a lot more different stories in here. You have to conceptualize everything. That means you have to go down, 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 and eventually start from where Darwin started, right? So you have to flip the study method, okay? Generally, if you go to the school will show you one of the theory saying that, okay, this theory, and this theory comes from here, and then because of this, now these are based on this, and then based on these are based on this. So in the school or any type of education system you go through, you will see they'll go step down, from theory to theory. That is from newest ones to the old one. But your approach has to be flipped. You have to flip from bottom up. Okay, you just totally go upside down. That's the first step. So to do that, you have to choose the topic. Very simple. And it look like the choosing topic very simple like air. Then I already know the air. What should I talk about? What else? What else that there is something that I never knew about the air. I already know the air contains oxygen and air is gas, right? That's what generally people think. But if you try to observe and describe, you won't be able to really find all those concepts by yourself, and you will need some diction help from the dictionary or the textbooks or something like that. Okay. So first step, choose topic. Example topic. Here I chose water, right? So water seems to be very simple, but it's not really simple. Now, I'm going to skip this part because this one I talked about before, okay? So I'm going to skip and go directly from here in the building concept. Now, building concept, as I said from last week, I'm sure that I said it from last week. Building concept is a little bit different from connecting concept. Connecting concept is something like this. Let's say this is water and you have river and or you have a cloud or you have a lake or ocean or something. You have all these, right? Connecting concept is connecting them each other, river and cloud each other, and lake and ocean, and lake and cloud, lake and river, and ocean to river. These are the how you make the connections. But before you make connections, well, in this case, because it is water, right? Water. Now you have all the connections, right? But cloud is in here, and you have a lake in here. Then cloud itself and lake itself is somewhat separated topic in here. Okay, that means you have to building concept is the uh, the uh, the thinking processes before you make the connections. So what do? You come up with as many related information as possible by building concepts. That's what it is. After that, making connection is easy. But here, you will have tendency to go making the connection saying that ocean, oh, cloud, when ocean is heat up, then there's the water evaporates and it makes cloud. So it's gonna be relatively easy for you to make the connections, but don't skip them. You have to systematically approach, okay? First, you need to build concepts. Building concept meaning that water, cloud, meaning now cloud, you have to build the concept of the cloud. You have to build the concept of the ocean. So you are not making connections, you are building separately. The water is the same from here. Let's go down and the mm, yeah. Yeah, the let's I skipped this. Let's talk about let's talk about this one first, okay? How to choose topics, okay? Not how to choose a topic, how to deal with the topics. So when you choose when the water is one of the simplest topics, so you can start with it. But let's say if you have a little bit complicated the topics. For example, hmm, what do I have here? It has been a while that I wrote about this. So yeah, so here, one example. Heart attack, right here. There's a topic like this, right? These are two different words. That means you have to separate it. How you separate it? Simple. You have a heart Oops. You have a uh, heart and attack, right? Then you have to analyze which one you need to explore first. Generally, it's a noun, something like names. Okay. So the reason is that if it is an adjective or if it is a verb is a little bit more challenging because you need a relativity. Okay. So relativity it just look like a very simple. Let's say, oh, this one is a darker to that, or this is a taller to compared to that. This look like a very simple, but it is not. When it comes to the brain thinking processes, that thinking about relativity and then trying to figure out what is the relative relationship of each other, that's not very easy. That's why general relativity that Einstein came up is very unique so far until now, and then very novel, right? And then even for the Newtons, that the relativity, a relative relationship among the force and travel distances and object, mass of the objects is the one that uh, enable him to think about artificial satellite concepts, right? So the verb will look like a very straightforward, but that's not. You need always a relativity, and it's not simply where you can use it. Every day you say, "Oh, I go to school." This is not a relativity. You are using it as a more likely and as with the noun, like a name. Okay, that means that I go to school. That's it. Then if you wanted to add the relativity, then I go to school from my home. Then when you add relative, when there's a relativities in there, then you have to make the directions. That's where you learn about the vectors and those kind of things, right? So you have to have the directions and you have to have the speed. So you have to, when you describe the movement from you moving from home to school, you have all these different things, different the directions. That means the vector is different, and how fast you are traveling, and then the how much energy you are putting in. If you are running to school, then that's different from the walking school or taking SkyTrain or bus or something like that. These are all relativity. So simply go look like a very simple word, but this is relative words, so you are not going to be able to handle at the moment. Okay? So you have to start it from the beginning. Now, when heart attack, this subject is given, then the first thing you need to do is separate them. And the same thing, the other one, the second example is something like a biotechnology or something. These are two different compound words. This is a combination of bio and technology. In that case, you have to separate it. Okay? And when it comes to the heart attack, you have to analyze which one is first. Now, in order to separate and then choose the keyword, this is the same thing that we talk about in the beginning of this one, which is using the law of causation, that which one is first. Then you have to check the dependencies. Attack, is it independent or heart is independent? And let's think about this way. Attack, this one is always dependent to someone, right? You have to have some subject to attack. In this case, then, heart is the one. Without heart, attack cannot exist, right? So heart attack, after heart exists, then attack can be exist. So heart attack can exist. But without heart, attack related to heart cannot be exist. So that's how you define which one is the key factor. So when you are, this applies to the reading as well. Sometimes you have a difficult time to find out what is the dependencies, what is the key factor, what is the point of the this story. And in order to find it out, what you need to do is you need to apply these dependencies and identify which one is really key factor, keyword. And then starting from the keyword, you have to retrace where how the story is built. I'm not gonna be able to show you here that this is about the readings and you can have in something, but you might this is a little more advanced level, so I'm not gonna be able to deal with here. But let's just deal with this simplest way. So you identify key factor, then heart is the first. Then what you need to do, you need to build heart the concepts first, and once you fully build the concept of the heart, then depending on this information, the information that you built about the heart, then now you build about the attack in relation to. Why? Because attack is depending on the condition of the heart. It's not directly related to the heart. Right? Sometimes heart failure is different from the heart attack, right? Heart attack means that if something blocks because of that, heart is being attacked. That means the heart is not functioning. So there is an external force. And in order for for you to explore the external force, what you need to do is you need to really find it out, heart itself, and then see that what kind of function it does and everything, how it is composed. Starting from there, building building concept is not starting from the functions, it is starting from the heart itself, and then build functions onto it. And then once the functions built in, then based on function, now find the relative relationship with the attack, and then now you can build your concept more. And this is a connecting concept actually, heart attack, these two. Okay, so that's how it works. Biotechnology. Then you have to think about biotechnology. Well, then bio is the one that is the technology is the one relying on the bio. Then that means that bio is the first one you need to explore, and then technology follows by. That's what this is about. Okay? So what you need to do, you need to first, separate all the compound words or two or three different terminology mixed together and then forming the one. General relativity is also the one. General and relativity, two words, you have to separate it, explore it and then separately, and then merge them together. Okay. Now, this is one of the key point about in building concepts. Okay. Beginning of the thinking processes, the reason that the study is difficult is that, well, many of you, when you study, this is what happens. You try to study from given knowledge. Well, as I said, if you have evolution, then you try to study evolution. Then think about it. If evolution is not there, then what can you do? You cannot study. This will, in the future, this situation, the same thing will be applied in real life cases. For example, in these days, COVID-19. Right now, because vaccination is speeding up, and because of that, and then reduced number of the COVID-19 positive people. Now the government has started opening the all social interactions, right? Increasing social interactions. They allow some restaurants to have the guests and dine in the restaurant and something like that. But now you have to think about this, right? When time before, like about a few months before, or the last year, entire year, what did you see? Entire society says, okay, just don't meet each other. Stay apart and keep the distances and don't gather together. Then people go, stress level increases and anxiety level increases, and everything is moving that direction. right? Why? Because people feel bored and kind of the anxious because there's nothing they can do at home. They cannot unless they meet other people and talk or with the socialization. Without socializations, people lost. What you're gonna do at home if there's no social gatherings or something. And school study might be really something that you don't want to really engage because well, some students might enjoy studying, but not all students enjoy study, right? Then what can you do? Play game or, well, instead of because you cannot go out there and meeting people, you have to find something that you can do at home, but there's nothing to do, and then you build anxiety more and more, and depression increases, and kind of like a boredness is in there, and something like that, right? So the reason that many people are suffering from is because they are not able to find something that they could do. In this case, okay, the same thing. If there's an apple, right, unless you kind of look through it and then try to do something because you wanted to find out something new, then your brain will work. But if the apple is there, and you are not even interested in eating it, then you will say, "Oh, okay. What should I do with the apple?" There's nothing you can do, right? So this is the reason. The reason that you are getting a little more interest and you are started moving is that when the time that you are actively moving is when you have questions. For example, you wanted to find out how COVID-19 vaccine works, then what you will do, you'll search on search in the internet, and then you will try to come up with some idea, and you will try to digest the information, and you'll try to apply that information as much as possible to fulfill your curiosity. If you are curious about something, then your brain will work. This is why curiosity is one of the triggering points. But here, when you look at the something like this water on my camera, right? If you have the water in here, what can you do? This is look like the one of the material that you can drink when you're thirsty. Other than that, this water, nothing have given you any thinking processes. So in order to change that into active brains, instead of waiting some new idea pops in your brain, new question pops in your brain with curiosity and then make you active, what you need to do is you need to start with the questions. Questions to observe. That's what I said in here. Question asking the definition and question asking to observation. So that's the first thing you wanted to do. Okay. So now, if you are not able to start with a question to observe, this is something. Just question to define. What is water? And you could ask these questions, but you might not be able to come up with answers. Right? What is water? And okay, I'm drinking. It relieves my thirsty. But thirst, relieving the thirsty, or I use it for the drinking. That only comes in after water exists. If water doesn't exist, then there's nothing to drink. There's nothing relieve my thirsty, right? So in that case, that means that those are not the definition of the water. You have to work on the definition. So you have to change the question to observe. That's what came in here. What is the water? what is the this is something, yeah, what color do I see about the water, right? What color do I see in the water? What kind of a taste do I taste when I drink the water? Something like that. So you use five senses and then you make a questions to observe. That's the first thing. What do I see? What taste? What smell? How do I feel? And what else? The color, taste, smell, right? And shape. Okay, there's a smell is not there, but you can still think of the smell. So shape is not there. So very basic. You can do this every time, right? When you see an apple, you can ask questions, what color do I see? And how do I feel the skin? Waxy, it's slippery, right? And then shiny. See the reflection. And the skin, there's a skin which is thick, not very thin, but tough and waxy. And once you peel off that, then you can see you can meet the actual fruit part, which is the a little bit crispy and watery, right? So you have this observation, and what you need to do, put them into the summary. You always have to write in the summary. The reason that you need to put it into the writing is because this is writing is one of the challenging tasks. You have to practice it. The reason that the writing is difficult is because all the logics are visible. So people can follow one by one and then there are room for the people to ask questions. As they ask questions, then readers will be easily find it out what's missing. Then they will go like, what? What does he talk about? What does she talk about? That doesn't make sense. This story, there's no reasonings or something like that. So always practice writing together. Okay, this is one of the reason that you need to start writing the practice writing is this as well. If you got a job, if you are, let's say you are students and you graduated and you got a job in the company, wherever you go and work, they will ask you to summarize something and then describe what you're thinking and then provide them with the informations or something like that. Then you will be you'll be able to show them that you can write in logical order so that people can understand. As I said, the life of the human, unless you live life in very remote area by yourself, where there's no human interaction at all, then that should be okay because you are living alone and there's no reason that for you to convince any other people. Okay? There's no reason for you to persuade other people. But if you live with people, and even if it is one person or two-person, it doesn't really matter. What you will, the your future will be depending on how how you can make other people trust you and follow your lead. Okay, that's what the human life is really depending on about, right? In order for you to build that skill, what you need to do is you need to practice in the writing. Okay. Now, second, it's already 5:12, so I'm going to probably stop in one more step and then we'll move to the next where how the research questions can come up and how to expand these concepts and how to use references. That's will coming up soon, okay? So now, when there's a concept like a color, taste, order, transparent in here, then you have color, taste, order, transparent, right? In here. If you are not able to describe the concept of the color, you have to build the concept. If you are not able to describe the concept of the taste, you need to provide it. You have to do all those things one by one. So let's say you know what is the taste from previous concepts you built or you learned from the school, and then you had that information inside of your brain, and then you were able to describe it. Then you can write it down, and then you can merge these concepts together. And if you don't have the concepts, okay, then what you need to do, you need to observe one more time. So basically from here, let's say, what is the color? What do I see in color? What do I, yeah, and then you summarize and define, and you merge them. So this is one of the part. Now, when this is until that everything that you know, okay? But when it comes to something like here, saying that, okay, either taste or color, the transparency, you have no idea what they are. Then, now this is the time you want to expand your concepts using the references. Okay, so starting from the reference, I'm going to write it down on my notes so that I know that where to come back. So meanwhile, I'll wrap it up here. So if you have any questions, you can ask right now on the chat. But otherwise, I'm going to how to reference. Okay, so how to use references will be the one that coming from next week. So this is what you do. If you had previously either learned the concept, the school that when you are learning, if you learn that the apple as an apple, then you're learning knowledge. If you learn with reasonings altogether, apple is the one has the skins, the red colored, and then the reason that it has a red color is because of there's the molecules that reflecting the red light or something like that. If you learn these ones with the reasonings that even though you didn't build, that concept is yours. So if you have that concept, you can use it. If you think that you don't have the concept, you have to build it. Now, once you hit some of the knowledge that you never knew because you are new, never heard about it, then you have to use the references, and that's what we will continue next week. Okay. So since there's no questions, I'll stop here, and then I'll come back next week. Okay. So I'll see you next the lecture. Bye.